So the fundraising got so intense, I felt like I was losing sense of myself. A friend of mine warned me about the fact of obsessing so much it might lead to a burnout, and to be fair, he was kind of right. But I honestly feel like this kind of obsession is the only way to succeed. So in this video, I'll show you the dark side of obsession, what ego death actually feels like, and the price to pay to build something meaningful. Creatine 10 grams every day. That is one thing I wanted to talk about. And it's about like the mental space in terms of how much you want your project. And because I was speaking to a friend and I was explaining how much I was into it and how much it meant to me, to a point where any sorts of bad news would really get to me. And the point is, he was saying that it's kind of mentality that can drive you into burnout, and he's right. But I feel like it's also necessary, because if it doesn't mean so much to you, it's going to be hard to give your 200%. There were two occasions, I think it was 2 days in a row, I was really stressed about getting, I think it was like sorting out investors. It's obviously, yeah, it's like the main thing right now. But it was a few weeks ago, and then I'm in the gym, and it's a relatively heavy week, right? So you're also challenging yourself on a physical level too. And I've got this really high level of stress here, and this really high level of physical stress, and just thinking about the situation I was in, right? Not knowing if the project was going to move forward, because of course, money is the first thing you need to find. And this instant, it felt like death. I know it's a big word and so on, but it's just the best way I have to describe it. Because I think the idea was like, if it doesn't happen, at least in the near future, this means so much to me, right? In terms of the creative aspects, having my own project, potential financial stability in the future. But in this specific moment, not knowing and the risk of losing it, there's different concept of ego death, right? Sometimes they use it during therapy, where you remove yourself, you remove your ego from the equation in some ways, right? And it feels more harmonious. This felt like a kind of ego death in a way where you lose the sense of self, but not in a harmonious way, just in the sense of loss of purpose and meaning. And so it was short-lived, of course, but I think what I'm trying to say here is the fact that this kind of mentality is risky, but it's also what's made me work so hard, because the current project, right now fundraising, is the hardest thing I've ever done. Or it's none of it's hard. Yeah, it's the hardest thing, but it's also where I've worked the hardest. And I think it's going to be like this the whole way of the project. And so yeah, so I just wanted to say that I think sometimes it's necessary. Of course, you shouldn't go to a point where you burn out, or if you drag yourself mentally downwards. If things were not to move forward, I'd be, at first I'll keep fighting for it. But what I'm trying to say is, for any sort of occasion, of course you'll feel bad, and then after you rebound and you find another idea, or you find a new project in life, right? So you don't let yourself being beat down. But I feel this kind of mentality is necessary if we want to work as hard as we can. So that's my 2 cents. We are in the dark. I can't really hold this straight. Okay, cool. Now I just wanted to do a quick note before going to bed. Super happy. We had like a second round with an existing investor. It was just in the process of being confirmed, put it this way. But it was so nice because the vibe was great. We presented the new version with the branding integrated. And okay, personally, I think the presentation is dope. Genuinely, I think the way it's put together speaks a lot to people. I mean, it speaks a lot by itself. And then I love presenting it, because I've presented it 2 times or 3 times, and every time it makes such an impression. And it's just a real, and it's not even like it's not like an over-promising presentation. It's just exactly where we're going with all the philosophy about it, some of the visual direction, and then the plan basically. And it's really good. And then we showed it this time for the second round, and it went really well. And it was just great to be able to have someone that was really excited. The previous one, they really like it, and they're more like the finance people, so look more at the numbers. And also the presentation wasn't as developed back then. And presenting it and having them being so excited about it was so rewarding emotionally, because even though I believe in the project, it's just nice to have people who want to jump in, right? And it's really, really cool. So that was, just wanted to share this because I think it means a lot. I think it also reinforces the idea that we have something that's really good to bring to market. And again, it's not revolutionary, right? We're still doing just bakery, but we're just going to tweak things here and there to make it a lot more appealing and to present it in a bit of a different way, right? It's like a familiar product, but with a new touch, that's a fresh touch. And that should be, it's kind of bringing your favorite product with a new point of view. And I think that's where, enhanced by the new point of view. And I think that's where it's a good concept. It sounds really simple, but I think if it's really well executed, then you're onto something really good. Cool, so we've done before a quick physique update, so I mean, nothing's gonna change so much in 2 weeks. To be fair, I'm just trying to stay like this, but it's interesting to talk about it to understand also what kind of goals we have. So right now in terms of aesthetics, if I can try and lose a little bit of fat here, that'd be good. Because like my back looks, my ex used to say like a ninja turtle. I always found that's really funny because like it's so round and large. Not in a super aesthetic way, but look, I'm happy. I'm wide, I'm big, relatively big. That's good enough. That's good enough. Let's just be happy with what we have. Learn to like your physique. I wanted to look like a bodybuilder when I was younger, you know, like tiny waist and wide. Yeah, it's not happening. It's just not how I vibe. Not how I vibe. I was born like with my father's genetics, which means really broad shoulders. Look like a, what's my friend saying? There was another one. Minecraft character. So again, another very flattering one. I guess my girl friends aren't very nice to me. Aesthetic wise, so trying to lose a bit more so we can look a bit leaner for summer and or just all year long, which is because here summer is all year long. But a lot more arm work. Just have a nice tricep and bicep for the beach. It just looks better because I'm a bit wider, wide shoulders. If my arms aren't quite big, my neck's also relatively wide, then it doesn't really match aesthetically speaking. I saw this really interesting article about the Hollywood physique, like the Thors and the likes of it. And I think they were saying that basically you want to try and target a circumference of your arms to match your neck. And then there were other ratio, but I forgot. That's the only thing I kept in mind. I thought it was interesting. Again, it's not like super important, but as well as go to the gym quite often and so on. And I feel like I'm actually really happy with my physique right now. There's always things I can tweak, but I mean, I'm super happy with what I've achieved after so many years. So, yeah, that's just basically the sorts of aesthetics I'm going for. So that's basically around larger arms, not huge either, because after it just looks weird. Not very athletic, right? We don't want to lose the athletic part of it, because I still look relatively athletic. Not, obviously not like super long distance runner or not super explosive, but still there, I think. So, yeah. I don't know how to do before and after photo, by the way. This is as natural as it gets. Second thing, strength-wise. That's always a bit interesting if anyone wants to learn a bit more about strength. Had a really good session yesterday. Double clean and jerk at 130 kilograms, singles at 140, RP 7.5. For the ones who don't know what RP is, it's basically, the perceived exertion. Rate of perceived exhaustion. So basically, out of 10 would be your ultimate all-time effort. 9's close. It's just you have to learn to like use that term. Yeah, so feeling pretty strong. That was pretty good. 3x4 at 180 kilogram back squat. I think I can add some videos here. Does that work? Or is it on? Am I squatting here? Yeah, so really good. The realistic goals for end of this year, considering the work and the stress, would be a 130 snatch. Nah, that's a bit, between 125 to 130 snatch. Clean and jerk has to be at least 160, if not 165. I feel like I can be quite close. 160, anything 160 plus, above 160. Oh, and other goals. I tried a bit of powerlifting, I was not too bad. Especially at deadlift. Squat is just part of the program, so I mean, we don't really squat to max out, but just to keep strength. Deadlift was decent, so either powerlifting comp and has to be podium, or with a total of, let's think, maybe 640 to 650 bench, squat, deadlift, or a deadlift comp. And considering it's gonna be a deadlift bar, it needs to be 300 kilograms. That'd be pretty sick. I never thought I could. Like, I'll show the video here, but like my all-time PR 5 years ago on deadlift was 235. Yeah, I've never trained deadlift since then. We do clean pull at some, but I train around 150 and so on. Had some fun, tried with my friend. Like, okay, I'm gonna do RP9 to avoid injury. 260 kilograms deadlift, pretty good. So with a bit of training, maybe 280, 290, and to take it over 3 to 4 months, right? And the deadlift bar is basically about the bands, which allows you to pull less on the first pull, on the first 10 centimeters from the floor, which are usually more challenging. Once you pull the first 10 and it's bending, so it's easier, then you can pull the 300 over the next 30 centimeters, 40 centimeters. That's easier. How sick would that be? 300 kilogram deadlift. It's not really transferable to anything, but sick. The most morning face ever. Always wearing a tank. It's summer in Hong Kong and it's hot and fucking wet. So this part is about trying to kind of level off the stress of work and so on. Weekends, what do? There's no more drinking, to be honest, almost none, because it's just too tiring. And I've been enjoying going out for dinner without drinking, which honestly is like it's a big deal because I never used to drink much. It's always been only weekdays. Oh, sorry, weekends. Like once on the weekend, but even though like now it's just not the case anymore. I'll keep it for celebrations, but it's just been so much better because you wake up so fresh. And if you're able to socialize at the same time, having fun without drinking, I know everyone says this all the time, but I feel like it just takes a certain amount of either maturity or I don't know what it is. Long story short, it's really enjoyable. So the main thing is, I feel like if I'm able to go in nature, that's the main thing, because you want to change. I guess it's not the same for everyone, but you want to change kind of the environment from the city, all of this, into something that's a bit more relaxing. You don't have as much noise, you don't have to think so much about work, and it's just really nice because it's just a different environment. So that's like the must, right? And then socializing daytime, either outside or for certain events, and evening for sure. So it's been really cool. Met a new friend from the gym, really cool guy, very successful, very kind at the same time. So it's really nice because you get to share a lot about work and you get to also just develop like a personal relationship that has nothing to do with work, and that's just really cool. So it seems like we might almost be done with, what am I doing with my hair? Whoa. It seems like we're almost done with the fundraising. Let's see. Fingers crossed. But now, what becomes really difficult is to be able to find not only a location, but a location with enough electricity. It's officially the biggest thing, the hardest thing to find. So we'll see. But at least we're getting to the exciting part, which is I will finally have the funds and we'll be able to time things as much as I want the way I see it, which is going to be the fastest way possible, because I need to get this project started because there's so much to do. And the bakeries here still don't have great products, which is great because it gives me the market. Very confident about this. Okay, next time I'll do a much better job on doing my hair before the video.